Welcome back to Yoga Therapy Thursdays. This week we're doing something super fun and something I'd love to do every time I sit down for a meal. Mindful eating. So how's mindful eating different? Well, with mindful eating, you're paying close attention to every aspect of consuming food. So today's experience is a follow along. You can choose any type of food for this experience. Just make sure it's bite-sized. My favorite thing to use is chocolate because you can bite into it, but it also melts. And generally, chocolate comes in bite-sized pieces. You can try chips or a nut. They might melt a little funny, but you can still bite into them, and they're usually bite-sized. When you take this mindfulness experience to your dinner table, you can do this with every single bite of every meal you ever take. Now, granted, that would make your meals about 3 hours long every single time. So don't worry about doing this with every bite of every meal you ever have. I have my piece of chocolate here. To start, we're going to look at what we're going to consume. You really want to focus in the piece that you're going to eat. I would place this in my hand, except for I know it's going to melt. So to start, if you have chocolate, feel free to put it on a plate, look around, notice the shape. If you have something other than chocolate that's not going to melt in your hand, feel free to hold it in your hands. Notice any edges or round corners in your piece of food. Notice the color or the textures that you see. Just give it a good look. You don't have to worry about labeling anything that you're seeing. Just really take it all in. So next we're going to smell our food. Most of us know that a big part of taste is what you can also smell. So go ahead and close your eyes, hold your food close to your nose, and take a deep breath in. Let the scent linger. Notice what you smell. Maybe it doesn't smell exactly like what you're holding in front of you. Maybe you can pick up different notes of other foods that you're very familiar with, or different scents that you might not actually find in foods. Next, we're going to put the piece of food in our mouth, but don't do it yet. There's some very specific instructions on how to do this. So take your time. A mindfulness eating experience is about enjoying each moment. If you haven't been holding on to your food, notice how it feels in your hands before you place it in your mouth. I'm not going to spend too much time holding my piece of chocolate as I know it's definitely going to melt between my fingers and I'm just going to end up with a hot mess. I'm going to place my chocolate in my mouth and I'm just going to let it sit. I'm not going to bite it. I'm not going to necessarily squish it down and see how quickly I can get it to melt. I'm just going to place it in my mouth. From here, close your eyes and take a deep inhale in. What do you notice about the taste? Maybe try opening your eyes and doing the same thing. Obviously, this mindfulness experience is a lot harder to do at the same time. Allow the food that's in your mouth to roll around. Notice how it feels on the tongue. Notice how it feels as it goes to the back of your mouth. If you do have something that's melting, notice how it melts. Or notice how it gets squishy if it's something that's crunchy. Now allow yourself to take one bite. As you bite down, notice how it feels as your teeth go through it. Is there a sound that it makes as you bite down? What do you hear? What do you notice? What do you taste? What do you smell? Do you notice any notes of other familiar food items? And when you're ready, go ahead and consume your food. You can chew it more, you can just swallow it, wherever you need to go. I'm all out of chocolate. What happened? Anyhow, thank you guys for joining me this week on Yoga Therapy Thursdays. Mindfulness eating is an excellent practice during this holiday season. When we eat slowly, we allow our body to send signals to our brain telling us when we're full. It also makes the eating experience a lot more pleasurable. So again, you don't have to do this with every bite of every meal you ever do. But when there's a tendency to overconsume, or if you're eating something that you really love, like my chocolate that's all gone, Eating mindfully allows you to indulge, but not overindulge. So enjoy that 1 or 2 pieces of chocolate mindfully, and you'll feel equally as satisfied as eating that whole pint of Ben & Jerry's. Thanks for joining me this week. See you next week.